Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is Denanu and I'm the man with the black privilege. And with this video here, we're going to be talking about, I guess the show's called Hawkeye. But we're going to be talking about Hawkeye and the What If Disney Plus series. And let me touch on Hawkeye first, because this, like Loki, there isn't really a whole lot to it. Supposedly with this here, this is supposed to be taking place during the time when he was Ronin in Endgame, or before Endgame, I guess you could say, after Infinity War and in between Infinity War and Endgame. And I guess this is going to show the mental breakdown of Hawkeye and have him going around just killing people and going all Punisher on people. I don't know how much of a story they can do with that, but Jeremy Renner is a great actor in my opinion. So you give him a decent enough story and he can probably kill it. I know I've seen him in some great movies. Hell, I think this should be a movie. Like, give him an MCU movie. Like, I don't see why not. Like, I was hoping Black Widow was gonna be, Budapest, the movie. Black Widow and Hawkeye, Budapest. Since they reference it a few times in the, in the MCU, it's like, I want to know what Budapest is about. I want them to explain that. But supposedly that's not the case. So this is just going to be him traveling around the world, killing people. And I'm all for that kind of sort of thing. I don't know how you can make like an in-depth story around it though. Like I said before, they have to do something to create. He has to meet somebody, or like, cause like I would expect a Hawkeye TV show to kind of be like the newer, I think the newest part of the Hawkeye's comic book run now, where it's like I don't know if it's his daughter in the comics because I haven't read it, but there's this other girl Hawkeye that he's like training how to use the bow and arrow and stuff like that. That's what I thought it was going to be about, because you had a piece of that in Endgame and Infinity War. So maybe they were going to kind of feed into that and have it be following up of him being back with his family and kind of training his daughter and using, having him train his daughter on use of the bow and arrow and stuff like that. And having him teach her skills that can, let's say, benefit her later in her life, or maybe, let's say, when he puts down the bow and arrow, she can pick it up and be the new Hawkeye. That's what I was hoping, this would be. But them focusing on just the Ronin stuff, it's kind of, I don't know. Like, unless you make it like, it can't be a revenge story, because he's not going after Thanos. He's going after like regular criminals. So maybe this is gonna be like on some kind of Rambo stuff where he tries to get away and somebody like pisses him off or tries to kill him, and then he just goes after that one specific person and they become the bad guy of the show and stuff like that. So it could be something like that, but they have to make a story about something if they want to use that particular slice of the character, so to speak. So I just don't see a whole lot they can do with that unless they just start making up stuff and can introduce, new characters, new story elements and stuff like that. Like I said, they just announced it, so they're not really saying a whole lot. But I'm guessing they're going to be pulling from a few of the recent comic book runs with his character and stuff like that. But the more important one that they can really do something with is this What If TV series that they got. For those of you who don't know, What If in Marvel comic books used to be like their alternate reality type comic book story, where you basically like, oh, what if Spider-Man became the Punisher instead of Frank Castle? Or what if Captain America joined the X-Men? That kind of sort of thing. It was basically anytime anybody could make up a question, and then you have like an interesting story about like, mashing those two things together. That's what the comic book story was about. And usually it was like one or two issues explaining what was going on and stuff like that. Like I remember one where it was like, what if the Punisher had gotten the Venom symbiote instead of Spider-Man? So it was, they can do a lot with this show. Like, even if you was just like, fuck it, let's just pull, each episode is a different comic book, they can do that for like years of material. Because I think What If ran for a long time. Like, it ran from like, I want to say like the 80s all the way up into, I want to say the thousands. I could be wrong, but I don't remember when Marvel actually stopped it, but I do remember that I know in the late 90s they were still going on, because I remember, reading it then. It used to be, if anybody remembers, I think they was in Wizard Magazine back in the day. And also there was also one-offs and stuff like that Marvel would release, and stuff like that in between major story arcs. But supposedly with this one here, they're bringing back all of the other characters and stuff like that from the movies. Like, they're bringing back Michael B. Jordan, they're bringing back Whiplash, Michael Rooker, they're bringing back Haley Atwell, so they're bringing like all these other characters that's been in the movies that have either been killed off. And I'm guessing it's gonna be kind of like the Outer Limits, where it's like, okay, here's this guy that's gonna start off explaining the story and then it's gonna jump into it, because supposedly it's a watcher that's gonna be telling you this story. So he's gonna be the one that's gonna kick it off, and then every episode is gonna be about a different reality where something different happened than the main MCU continuity. And this is something that they can do for years on end. Like I said, even if you wanted to carry in newer movies, let's say that if the show is out now, any newer regular Marvel movies or TV shows that you make, you can always roll them back and then do a what if. Like, what if I can't say Spider-Man because he wasn't in her movie, but it was like, what if somebody else got the powers of Captain Marvel? Or, like, you can always roll in future characters or future movies and just make an episode about it. I think this is going to be damn good, in my opinion. They can have fun with it. They can play with the storylines. They can play with all of the characters and the actors that, people love. What if Tony Stark didn't get killed in Endgame? How about that one? Bring it back for an episode. By it being episodic, they don't have to stick to, let's say, a whole TV series to bring an actor in. You know what I'm saying? They could just have them be in a one-off episode and that's it. Kind of like how in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., for those of you who don't know, you had Nick Fury in that. You had I forget her name, but the one chick that's in Thor, that's Thor's love interest in the comic books for a little bit, outside of Jane Foster. She was in the first Thor movie, but the female chick that was with Thor in the first Thor movie, they brought they brought her in an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They brought Asgardians into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that. So it's really cool that they could just drop them in for an episode and pull them out. If it's for an episode, they don't have to worry about actor scheduling conflicts and stuff like that. They can usually just fly somebody out, do an episode, and just have them go. It's like a cameo type thing, or just, a way that they can make fun of their previous appearances, or do something serious and just have, let's say, like somebody else be Thor and stuff like that. So they can play around with the show a lot by them not having a to B type story, So this is something where it's like, I'm really hoping this is good, because they can have a lot of fun with this and they can do tons of stuff with it. So anyways, that's just my thoughts on What If and Hawkeye here. And if you guys want to talk about anything related to those down in the comments below, just let me know. And my name is Denani, and I'm the man with the biggest and the most blackest privilege on YouTube. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.